everybody, welcome back to another WIP and Chat. This is Abigail Ockwell here, and it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and actually do a WIP and Chat. So if you're new here, WIP stands for Work in Progress, and it's the week leading up to Christmas. I was meant to film this last Wednesday, but we've had Spider-Man come out, and I have honestly, last week I was so exhausted, and also Josh was ill, but we'll get more into that into this week's video. So before we start, I found the card. It was in the room, and I'm going to read it to you. So those of you that were here sort of a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned about my Uncle Ray, who has the tact of a sledgehammer, and instead of sending me a birthday card, it really feels like my birthday was an afterthought. He sent me a sympathy card and kind of combined the two. So here are his exact words. To Abigail, at this time it would be good to have been wishing you a happy birthday. Instead, we want to let you know that someone is thinking about you. With our love, hope you will feel the love knowing that others care. From Uncle Ray and Auntie Blodwin. Yeah. And that came through when my family were over the Saturday after my birthday. Which, yeah, it was funny. I mean, we were all laughing about it. Even my brother Steve, he got his 50 chuckles in. Everyone loved it. And my mum was just face planting. So yeah, that was that. I should probably mention this pen that I'm using is my custom pen from Bisto Blanks, and it is, as you can see, it is a cat in a pumpkin. Well, cat on a pumpkin. It was meant to be a bat in the moon, but it flew away during curing, which is fine. But it's got stars and rhinestones, and it's really pretty. And also, it's got like specks of gold glitter that you can see as well. I should probably mention this canvas that I'm working on. This is actually a discontinued one. I still haven't finished Alice Lost. Haven't worked on that for a while. I haven't had the urge to work on it. I think it's probably because I've been working on it for so long. I'm like, oh, I don't wanna, nope. And also where that canvas is so wide, it's so hard to fit in frame when you're starting a new row. So like I say, this canvas is a discontinued canvas. It's called Hello Beastie, and this is a Mandy Manzano, and it is a 47 by 63, and I'll pop a little picture of what it looks like up here. So as you can see, it is Maleficent and Beastie from the film Maleficent. I actually haven't seen the film Maleficent. I need to see both of them. I must say, from what I've seen when I did screen checks of the second one, it did look really good. And also, my fiance's aunt is a stunt coordinator, and she actually worked on Maleficent. So yeah, that was that. But yeah, I hope everyone's week has been okay. Mine has been incredibly stressful. When is my week not stressful? Yeah, so I guess I should probably start, I'm trying to think when it was. So, it was probably Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. I was pulled into the office twice. Before anyone asks, no, I didn't get nominated team member. Yeah, I'm still waiting. I think they're still trying to make up their mind who they want for that. But there is a possibility of me going for another position in January, but I'm not going to talk about that until, you know, I know for sure that this is something that will happen. So on the Tuesday, actually no, we should start on the Monday. We should start on the Monday. Or, no. No, we should start on the Saturday. There we go. So, not this Saturday, just gone, but a couple of Saturdays ago. Yeah, I did a very big boo-boo, but thankfully, it was easily rectified. On the Saturday night, I thought I was closing. Oh, that clicking that you will have just heard, that is my Elizabeth Irwin's Viv turning off. So, normally, with my rota, I'm very good. I usually know when I'm working, etc., etc. If I forget what time I start, or if I'm late, then usually it's not my, you know, it's a complete accident. But yeah, I completely forgot when I started. I thought I was closing on that Saturday. No. I was meant to start at, I think it was 12:30. It was 12 or 12:30. Of course, I found a whole load of that symbol that I've just put away. Yeah, I thought I was closing that night. No. I was, like I say, I was meant to be in at, oh, what time was I meant to be in at? Yeah, about 12, 12:30ish. So about 1:15, I got a call from my manager asking where I was. And I was like, I was really confused when it was my manager Dan's voice. I was very confused. I was like, hello, Dan, is everything all right? It was like, you were meant to start at 12. Yes, it was 12:15 I was meant to start. And I was like, I thought I was closing. And I was like, no, you were meant to start. And I checked in on my thing and I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I'll get in as soon as I can. And he was like, well, we're dead. Do you want the day off? And I said, well, because I had my nieces around. We had them over, not this weekend, but last weekend, because their parents were working, and so we had to look after them. So I was like, well, my niece is around and I would like to be with them. And he was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So he just gave me the day off, which I must say, I did breathe a very big and very heavy sigh of relief with that. It was, whew. So yeah, I got out of hot water there. But yeah, it's very unlike me to just forget what time I start. Usually I'm on top of it, like anything. But you know, things happen. I'm only human. And also, I think also the fact that obviously we're planning my uncle's funeral at the moment. It's, you know, it's a very stressful time, and I think all that didn't help, and I just got knocked out of whack because of it. I have to say, the next day when I went in, I was apologising profusely. But yeah, no, both the TL, Darren, and it was saying we really didn't need you. It was really quiet and it won't go down as AWOL. Yeah, so yeah, I'm very thankful for that. You know, we do have really good managers at the place that I work. The management's great. It's just the company itself isn't the best, but it's getting better. It's getting better. It is definitely getting better. I'll give it that. So, yeah. That happened. But no, that was all fine. And then, so we'll go on to the Monday. So 2 things happened on Monday. So obviously I went horse riding, and we also had our staff Christmas party. Now, with my horse riding, it's normally, you know, oh, this is what happened, this is what we did. No. I had an injury before I even got onto the horse. And so I was riding Buzz. Pop a photo of him here. You know, just got there. The stable hand helped pop him out the stable. And normally what he does is he'll come and sort of nuzzle in a little bit. He won't try and do anything, but he'll nuzzle in. Not this time. So he did his thing like he was going to nuzzle in. Then the next thing I know, the little bugger has bitten me on the stomach. And I'll pop a photo of what the bite looked like. So as you can see, it got really red, really bruised. But, oh, he gave me such a chomp. You know, completely unprovoked. I was just standing there saying hi, and then all of a sudden, yum. I'm gonna try and eat you. But I think he was apologetic after, though. So yeah. No, he was. He did well the rest of the lesson. I really made him work to get his treat. So, because I was like, well, if you want your treat, you're going to have to work and you're going to have to make it up to me. Which, you know, he did very well. And I said, I reckon he's jealous because of because of my favourite horse, Twix. He shares a field with him. And I was saying, oh, I bet he's been joking about rubbing it in and stuff. And he was like, I'm getting tired of this whole thing. So yeah, I must say this week, I have to say, when I went riding, I was very much hoping that I wasn't on Buzz, because I was like, I do not want to get bitten or kicked or anything. Because I know I've mentioned it before, after my first lesson with Buzz, you know, the lesson went well, nothing happened, and straight after the lesson, he stood on my foot. Seriously, I think that horse is trying to tell me something. I think he's got a love-hate relationship with me. But no. You know, I honestly don't know why he bit me. Whether he thought I was going to do his girth or something, because, yeah, some of them don't like their girths done because they are done really tight, but I don't know what happened. You know, he bit me. It was something that happened. So, yeah. Definitely going to be more careful next time I ride Buzz. So, next day, not the next day. Later, we had our staff Christmas party. So our staff Christmas party, it's always at the same pub in Chai every year, you know, and it's usually always the same thing, you know, so you have a carvery, or there's an option of other things as well. And yeah, we went to one of our work colleagues' houses for about 6:30. I think it was about half six. It might have been 6:15 actually. I know it was after 6 we got there. But yeah, I fell over twice. I was walking in very high heels. I didn't drive in heels. I actually had some trainers to drive in. Yeah, I was in some heels. I fell over twice, and Josh was like, if you fall over again, you're going in trainers. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Yeah, I got complimented on my outfit. People said that I looked like I had the red carpet look going, which I was quite I felt quite embarrassed. I kind of thought, oh no, I've overdressed myself. But no, it was a nice evening. So we got there. I didn't drink. Yeah, I only had one drink, and that was at the pub. But that was just because I was driving. Don't drink and drive, people. So we got there, and there were a few people who were a little bit sozzled before we got to the pub. And there was one person in particular who was quite drunk. And yeah, we got there, people ordered drinks and stuff. And we'd all sat down to the carvery, and then one of my work colleagues came running out saying that this girl, Katie, was in a really bad way. And I was like, okay, like, how bad? And she was paralytic, is how bad she was. Like, she had drunk so much that she had basically become paralytic. And I did go and check up on her in the bathroom, and I was very concerned for her, because I thought, you know, the first thing I thought when I saw her was, oh my god, she's unconscious. Because she was very out of it. And so I was like, Katie, can you hear me? And thankfully she was still with it to sort of hear me and be like, oh, what's going on? But you know, she couldn't stand. You know, we had to help her. And I was like, I'm worried about her. Let's get her to my car. I'll drive her home. Yeah, and she was, oh bless her, she was apologising, or thinking she was going to get fired and everything, and oh, it was, you know. And I said to her when we got in the car, because my car wasn't that far away from the pub, I said, you know, if you feel like you're going to be sick, let me know and I'll pull over and you can throw up. But she was in the back of my car, passed out. Yeah, we got her to her, well, I got her to her house. Thankfully, she is a student, so she shares with another colleague of ours. And, you know, she was like, let me know when she's home and when she's safe. And I said, of course I will. So, yeah, I dropped her home. One of her housemates was there, and yeah, I just explained that what happened, and Then, yeah, we got back and they were texting this other girl, Becca, and they were saying, you know, oh, we're all going to go out, we don't want to deal with Katie, you know, you were meant to be looking after her, like it was her fault. And they were like, we don't want to deal with her, la 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 la, and it was like, you know, before we left the pub, their housemates had said that they would look after her until Rebecca got back. So yeah, that was so yeah, Rebecca was like panicking about that, and we were saying don't go. They knew you were going out. Just because they've decided to go out now, you know, don't let them bully you into going home. So yeah, she stayed until she'd eaten pudding and everything. But yeah, who was it? I think she'd also forgotten her purse, and one of the guys that they share the house with basically texted Becca and said, oh yeah, to pick it up I'm gonna need some petrol money. And it was like, seriously, one of your housemates has had so much to drink that she's paralytic, and you're worrying about and you're wanting petrol money so you can pick up her bag? Really? It's just, ugh. It was just, ugh. I couldn't believe it. But no, I got her back, made sure she was safe. Bless her. The moment that the front door opened, she basically crawled up the stairs. Honestly, if she hadn't crawled up the stairs, I would have been like, which one's your room? And I'd have helped her to her room. But no, she was really embarrassed, and she was really worried she was going to lose her job, and God, it was lovely, but it was, you know, it was obviously very concerning. And this colleague, Katie, was the same one that got the chemical in her eye. So yeah. Yeah, I've been, yeah, I try and look out for people, and that was a situation that I was like, look, I don't care, Josh, finish the rest of my roast. I usually usually my eyes are bigger than my stomach on something like that. And it was no different there. But I was just so concerned for Katie that I was just like, yeah, I don't care. However, the next day, Josh contracted food poisoning. Yeah. So I was saying to him, it's got to be something that you ate that I didn't. So there was turkey, gammon and beef. Now, I'm not a big fan of beef, so I only had the turkey and a little bit of the gammon. Gammon is like ham for anyone in America. I don't know if you have gammon or anything like over in America, but it's basically like ham, but cooked. It's like boiled ham, I think is, excuse me, the best way that I can describe it. So, yeah. That was that. So, yeah, like I say, Josh had food poisoning, so he was down for the next couple of days. The next day, it wasn't so bad. But yeah, this is when I was called into the office. One was just sort of asking about what happened on the Saturday, and I said, oh yeah, they called me up and let me have it off. And he was like, oh yeah, that's fine, okay. And that was my GM, Ben, that did that. So yeah, kind of a slight bend of truth, but it wasn't the whole truth, but it wasn't a lie either. So it was a little bit of painted truth, shall we say. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to need to talk to you in the office a little bit later about something different. And I was like, oh God. And because obviously with the whole nominate team member thing, I was thinking, is it that? Is it something else? Is it da-da-da-da? What have I done? No, he was just honestly asking how I was with my mental health. That was honestly all he wanted to know. He wanted to know how I was doing. He was like, you know, is there anything we need to do to make sure that you're okay? And I have never, ever had a manager that's actually called me into an office. Like, none of my managers before a big release have called me into the office to check that I'm okay. They're like, you know, and he was like, is there anything we can do? If you would just want to stay on Dropbox and boss people about like you did with Bond, that would be great. You know, that's great, but yeah, whatever's going to be comfortable to you. The fact he was asking me what was going to be more comfortable, I really appreciated that. But I was like, honestly, I think I'm fine. And, you know, it was just obviously when Bond and Venom came out, I was in a much darker place than I was. But this time I've like got back up and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And yeah, so yeah, that leads me to opening day of Spider-Man. Oh, that was fun. You know, me and Josh, we were meant to be seeing the staff screening of Spider-Man that evening, but obviously I wasn't going to see it without Josh. I'd already made my mind up that I didn't want to see it without Josh. I was meant to be driving somebody back from Spider-Man, but so I made sure that day that they got my message and they were like, yeah, no, I got your message and I completely understand, which was really good. So, yeah. But, yeah, our staff screening, there were 2 staff screenings, so there was one in the morning and then one in the at night after we'd closed. So the reason the staff screening in the morning had to be cancelled. Opening day of Spider-Man. It was in the IMAX and it was a 3D IMAX. And what happened? It broke. It decided it wanted to go kaput on opening release day of Spider-Man. So yeah, we had a lot of angry and unhappy customers. Some going, oh, I've driven 2 hours to see this film, and it's like, yeah, we can't help it if there's a technical fault. Not our fault if I'm so sorry, I don't know what's happened. I've suddenly got a really tickly throat. And yeah, that's just come out of nowhere. So we were all like, look, we're really sorry, but you know, this is you know, we've had a technical fault, we can't fix it, we've got the engineers working on it, but we don't know how long it's going to be until it's fixed. And I mean, we really didn't know, because from what we could understand with the issue was that something had happened with the motherboard. And we were like, right, okay. And they were like, yeah, we don't know how long this is going to take to fix, because the part we need is really hard to get. And so we were just like, oh, crumbs. Are you serious? So, yeah, we had to also cancel the first screening, the first public IMAX screening. Much to a lot of mad and disgruntled customers. However, there was one that was showing in another screen. There were a few that were fairly close together, so we managed to swap them into those two. Some needed to have a refund. Some didn't want to see it in anything less than IMAX, basically. And we had some people coming up like, oh, when's it going to be fixed? And we're like, we don't know. But, oh gosh, yes. Sorry, I've just got my my notes on my laptop, because I thought that might be easier today. Oh, yeah. I'd completely forgotten about this, but 20 minutes into my shift, well, not even 20 minutes into my shift, I was on the ice cream stand. So not even 20 minutes into my shift, I had to have a pop at somebody. I had to have a pop at a customer. And, ugh, I mean, it was like there's a pandemic going on. You know, show a little bit more sort of you know, awareness. So with the pick and mix, we have tongs. They've got to customers have got to sanitize their hands, and then they've got to use the tongs. Well, this guy thought because he'd sanitized his hands, it was okay for him to pop his hands into the pick and mix. Nay, nay. And I was like, sir, can you please use the tongs? And he was like, oh, but they don't work and I've sanitized my hands. I was like, and so I said, there is a pandemic going on. And also, I don't care that you've sanitized your hands. The fact you've popped your hands into that pick and mix, I'm now going to have to damage off what you've put your hands in. Which I honestly had no idea what he'd put his hands in, so I couldn't really damage it off anyway, annoyingly. But if I'd known which ones, but I had seen him put them in one, but because they're all in a line, it was very hard to determine which one it was. So, yes. That was not fun, having to have a pop at a customer at 9:30 in the morning. Yeah, no, really not fun. Having a pop at a customer at 9:30 in the morning. Especially when I hadn't long taken my antipsychotic medication. Yeah. First thing in the morning after I've taken that, I'm very sleepy and I'm very irritable. But yeah, no. So, back to the IMAX not working. Oh, gosh. No. So, obviously, we had... So, yeah, I had a... So, while, you know, we'd said that the IMAX wasn't working, I had a guy come up to me. I was like, hi, yeah, one member card for the IMAX showing, please. And I was like, I'm really sorry, but I'm afraid that the IMAX isn't working at the moment, so I can't sell you a ticket. And he went, oh, darn. And he started, like, cursing and everything. I was like, I was like, I've got this showing at this, I've got the same film showing at this time, but it's not in IMAX. And so I told him the times, and he was like, show me the film times. So I showed him the screen, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll go for that one. So yeah, he got into a scream, but he was like just having a pop by going, oh, why is it broken? How long is it going to be? I'm like, I don't know. And, you know, he was even sort of, you know, going to my TL and sort of taking it out on her and going, oh, so the IMAX is broken. And she was like, yeah. He was like, well, when's it going to be fixed? And she was like, I don't know. And I just wanted to faceplant so badly, because I was like, I just told you that stuff. You know, usually the TLs and managers will, if there's something like that happens, usually they will tell us something as soon as they know. So yeah, the fact that she obviously didn't know anything, you know, I didn't know anything. So yeah, we were swapping people into different showings and everything. There were a few that just had refunds and stuff, and this is the thing, head office had sent them all emails saying that it had been cancelled and that they had a refund, that they were going to be refunding their tickets. But you know, big release, customers don't always check their emails. So yeah, that was very fun. And yeah, I also, because the IMAX was broken, she was having our manager James, who you've had before, take a lot of stuff out on her because the IMAX wasn't working. I was having a lot of stuff taken out on me as well because Josh wasn't well. But, you know, that wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault he got food poisoning. It wasn't his fault that the beef hadn't been, you know, cooked properly. And the reason that I'm pretty sure it was the beef is because the people that I've spoken to that had the beef have been like, well, they either didn't feel great or they hadn't been feeling great for a couple of days after. So yeah, but Josh, I think, really bore the brunt of it. But no, he was, yeah, James was basically taking it out on me and her. He was making me run to different areas. So one moment I was floor, the next minute he was like, oh yeah, can you go and serve on concessions on the other side? I was like, James, where do you want me? Like, honestly, I can't keep running around like a moron. Otherwise I'm going to get sick again. And that was like the last thing I wanted. And I know I was saying to someone, I don't mind being multiple people. But if you're not going to give me sort of the responsibility that goes with being multiple people, then one of these days I may just turn around and be like, nah, it's your problem. You deal with it. And yeah, I am really one of the last people that would be like, no, I'm not doing this. So yeah, it was a very fun Tuesday. Also, it got a little bit more fun after I left. So after I left, someone caught a screen pirate. So they went in to do a night vision checks like we do during big releases, because it's a VRA, which stands for Vulnerable Release Alert. So basically when those happen, it means that we need to be extra vigilant, because those are the films that are most likely going to be targeted by film pirates. Especially, we knew Spider-Man was going to be pretty big because it hadn't come out in the States. We got it before America. Oh, sorry, I just stood on my Squirtle teddy. So yeah, we knew that it was definitely going to be a vulnerable release. But yeah, no. This person didn't speak a lot of English. And during the final fight scene, one of our co-workers caught them taking photos of the screen. Now you might think, oh, he wasn't recording it, so why does that count as piracy? Because of copyright laws, that still counts as piracy. You cannot take images of screens or anything. Now, I know I said, I think it was a few weeks ago, where I caught a guy taking a photo of the screen when they went and saw Bond, and it was like, and I said to him, that counts as piracy, you need to delete that. Which, thankfully, he did. But, yeah, it can be anything, because when people, like, take a photo or record a film, there's, like, a little sort of digital imprint that can be picked up. And my camera's about to die. There we go. Screen will be a little bit brighter now, I apologise, but that's just purely because it's plugged in, so yeah, don't worry. Yeah, so when film pirates target a film, every cinema has a sort of a unique code. So if, say, footage or stills from the film get leaked online, basically people can, the film police, they can basically match that up with some very tiny pixels. I don't know how they do it, but they can match that up and they can be like, right, this was done at this cinema at this time during this showing. So if that happened and this person hadn't been caught and he'd gotten away with it, basically everybody that was on shift during the time that the film was pirated, whether it was recorded or filmed, recorded or just a photo, they would all lose their jobs. So all the floor staff would, and because especially the person that had done the night vision, and also the cinema would get a fine as well for not being vigilant enough. But yeah, no, that is basically why we do all these checks, to make sure that people don't do things like that. But yeah, no, they're pretty sure it was like his first time. He was apparently very obviously taking photos. He didn't speak a whole lot of English. They pulled him out the screen and they were like, look, mate, you can't do that. They called the police as well. And You know, he was basically denying it, even though there was evidence to prove that he'd done it. Yeah, he was basically going, no, 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 I didn't take photos. This is obviously all what I've been told, but yeah, the colleague had to make a statement, and yeah. So, yeah, that's, you know, this is why we do this job. This is why we do these checks, to make sure people aren't trying to spoil the cinema experience. Excuse me. So, yeah, that was Wednesday. And usually when there are film pirates, they're usually going to try and target release day, especially, like I say, because it hadn't been released in the States yet. You know, that was obviously going to be very highly sought after. Like any images or anything were going to be highly sought after. I have actually seen the new Spider-Man. I saw it Saturday. But yeah, no spoilers here. Shh. But no, next day, I was running around like a maniac again, because I was my second person in. They resigned because they got a better job, which was a shame, because he was one of the good ones. And it's always annoying when, like, sort of you recruit someone and they're really good and then they get a better job and you sort of lose them in a short space of time. It's like, oh, darn, that person was really good. And especially with something like Spider-Man coming out, it's kind of, you really need everyone you can get. So, yeah, I was basically on my own until 12:30. So from then, I was basically running around like a headless maniac. So, yeah, I was doing screen checks, I was cleaning screens, I was doing toilet checks. Yeah, I was just doing everything. I was being 3 people. And like I was saying, you know, I don't mind being multiple people, but just give me the responsibility that comes with being multiple people. Because I honestly, I just get exhausted. And that's why I honestly didn't record last week, because I was just running around like a maniac. And I just couldn't keep up. My body was like, no, I can't do this. I have to stop. So, yeah. That was that. But no. So, Thursday, thankfully, we actually managed to get the IMAX working. We managed to get the IMAX working for the second viewing of Spider-Man of the day. On the Wednesday, thankfully. So, yeah, we had no hiccups, but yeah, we had 2 people. We had 2 people down, but like I say, I was being 3 people. Yeah, but like I say, I was having to do screen checks and stuff, so I walked into 2 very big spoilers, which I was like, oh gosh darn it. And I have to say, if I hadn't walked into those 2 spoilers, especially the first one I walked into, I think I would have probably enjoyed it more. But because I knew those 2 spoilers happened, I was like, It's kind of, then you see the rest of the film and I was a bit like, you know, if I hadn't walked in and seen those spoilers, I think I would have been a little bit more happy with the film. But yeah, you know, working in a cinema over the last 5 years, I've kind of got into this sort of knack that I know I know that, you know, normally I'm not too fussed about sort of walking in and ruining stuff for me, but that was a little bit like, oh, darn it. But, you know, it was all good. I still enjoyed the film when I watched it. Excuse me. So, yeah, had that. Oh, gosh. This next one is really random. I mean, really random. So, at the cinema, from working, I pronounce my letters a lot more. Because, especially if we've got older people. So, H. So I usually, to make it easier for people to understand, instead of saying huh, I say H. And yeah, there were two people seeing West Side Story, a married couple, and this customer didn't know him. He decided that he was going to have a pop at me about the way I said H. And, you know, I just thought, how rude. You know, you walk into a place, or say you overhear a conversation, and, you know, you think, oh, they're not saying that right. You don't just suddenly walk up to them going, oh, you're pronouncing that wrong, da 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 da. And then, like, sort of when they say it, keep saying it, you know, you don't just keep sort of going, no, it's this. You know, it's just very rude. So, yeah. I have to say, I was very unimpressed about this guy sort of feeling like, you know, it was okay to correct my grammar, because I was like, yeah, mate, you don't even know me. So I really wasn't happy about him feeling like that was appropriate. Right, so final story for this part. So, in England and Wales, masks have again become mandatory to wear. It is law. You must wear a mask in screens unless you are medically exempt. Now, like I say, I was running around like a maniac. So I couldn't go up to each and every customer that didn't have a mask and say, can you put a mask on, please? Because I just didn't have the people. And this woman marches up to me and starts complaining about people not wearing masks. She was like, why don't staff wear masks? I was like, sorry, because I didn't hear her the first time. And she said, why aren't you stopping people? And she said, why aren't you wearing a mask? And I very clearly had my lanyard that showed that I had a hidden disability and that I was exempt. Because of my asthma, I am actually exempt from wearing a mask. When it gets cold like this, I really find it hard to wear a mask. So at the moment, I won't be wearing a mask at work. So yeah, it's kind of, when it's hot, if it's too hot or it's too cold, I don't do well in a mask. So I always have that lanyard to sort of have that leeway. And I went, I'm exempt. And she was like, oh, excuse me. And it was like, okay, don't apologise. Don't say, oh, I'm sorry. You're just going to say, oh, excuse me. And then she started saying, well, why aren't you stopping people that are coming in wearing masks? There's a pandemic going on. I said, I'm fully aware of that. But annoyingly, I can't go around at the moment and stop every single person coming in the building that hasn't got a mask. You know, I don't have the people. And then she just stormed off and I thought, oh, okay, that's the end of her. Oh, she decided she was going to see a film. So yeah. Yeah, that was that week. So this next part is going to be me and Josh answering some tag questions about Christmas. So thank you for watching this part, and I'll see you in the next part, which hopefully should be released tomorrow. She hopes. Either tomorrow or it might be Christmas. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye!